Greetings programs, welcome back to the Game Grid. In this video, I'm sharing 5 tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I first started playing Baldur's Gate 3. So if you're just starting out, these tips will really help you. I wanted to make this short and sharp, but there's an older, longer beginner's guide video explaining tips like these in more detail on my channel if you need it. Let's go. Tip number 1, positioning in combat. Positioning is key in Larian's games, and Baldur's Gate 3 is no different. For example, height and elevation give bonuses to hit at range, and finding a choke point to limit those who can hit you, like in a doorway, is always a good idea. But what might not be so obvious is light and darkness. In fact, whether you're a rogue or not, finding darker areas of the battlefield to stand in can make it harder for enemies without dark vision to see you. They'll get a penalty to their attack roll as a result. If you can fashion your own darkness with spells, hide with the C hotkey, or blind your enemies, even better. The counter to this is to move your enemies to lighter areas or light them up with a fire surface or dancing light spell to make them easier to hit. Tip number 2, more details on skills and items with the T hotkey. It used to frustrate me when I wanted to hover over a skill to see more details, and then the skill contains other details which need to be examined. In order to achieve this, there's a less obvious hotkey. It tells you on the screen, but it's easy to miss. That hotkey is T. When you hover over an item and the tooltip pops up, you can press T to have it stay there, and then you can click on details or hover over other areas of that tooltip to see more. Using this, you can make sure you know what options on level ups you are taking, or understand the full power of a spell, effect, or item. Tip number 3, bags, pouches, and crates. Your inventory, even though it's sortable, is going to annoy you with all the junk that you're going to collect. So what better way to keep your sanity than to sort things with receptacles? And the good news is that these can be found all over the place. Any bag, backpack, or pouch that you come across can of course be looted, but if you right click on it, you can pick it up and put it into your inventory. When it's there, you can right click and open it, then move stuff into it. So you can keep your camp provisions or magic scrolls or crafting items or keys separate and organized. Even better, you can drop stuff in the world and mostly it'll stay where you put it, so no need to drag those bags with you. Leave them in your camp or near to a waypoint, and then you can teleport back there when you need that stuff again. Also, crates. Pick at least one of these up too and keep it in your inventory. There's so many things you can do with crates. Climb on them to jump to higher locations, or put stuff in them. Use them to cover over gas traps or to weigh down pressure plates. They're one of the most useful items in the game. Tip number 4, maximize your hotbar. As you gain levels in Baldur's Gate 3, your hotbar is going to become a busy place. It'll be easy to miss certain skills or spells right when you need them, even if you organize things carefully. Another slightly less obvious thing you can do in the user interface is to click on the action, bonus, or spell slot buttons at the top of the UI. That will then limit your hotbar to just the skills or abilities that correspond to that action. You can also click the bottom category buttons to filter the UI to just the skills that fall into a category, such as class, items, or passives. And if you're really feeling like you need just the skills you use all the time, there's the custom category just for that. Press N to bring up your character sheet, click the spellbook icon top left, and then drag skills and spells and even items from your inventory right into the custom toolbar. Tip number 5, turn-based mode in a crisis. On many occasions, you might exit a fight or engage a trap and be dumped into real-time mode with your characters prone, bleeding out, poisoned, or whatever. Or maybe there's a big hulking ogre about to head right into where your characters are talking. For all such occasions and many more, you should engage turn-based mode. The game does a fairly good job at the start of reminding you that you can click that big hourglass button to the right side of the UI when you're in real-time mode, but later on you might forget to do this. So get into the habit early and use it as often as you can. Get yourself using the spacebar to end turns when in combat mode, and then shift and space takes you into turn-based mode when you're not in combat. Easy to remember it that way. And shift space again disengages turn-based, so that's a cool toggle too. It'll give you time to work out where your party members should scatter and hide, or position nicely before initiating an attack, or most importantly, just to give yourself the breathing room to help a dying character up off the ground before they death roll and expire, and you're forced to revivify them instead. So there we have it. Those are my top 5 tips for starting Baldur's Gate 3. I hope you found them helpful. What tips do you have for viewers? Drop them in the comments below, and thanks as always for watching.